I think the whole business with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried in particular has left a really bad taste in the mouth of politicians in Washington.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have Guy from Coin Bureau discussing his predictions for the crypto market, a potential downturn, and the impact of stablecoins on Bitcoin and Ethereum. He believes that the market will go down due to irrationality and concerns about inflation. He also thinks that there will be more rate hikes, and the Fed won't drop rates this year. However, he hopes that the downturn will be over by March of 2024, but believes that rates will still be high. Guy also expects to see an improvement in market sentiment after a year of fairly sideways price action for Bitcoin. Let's get right to the interview with Guy from Coin Bureau as he gives a market update for Bitcoin, the crypto market, and where the economy is headed in 2023. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content we do here. Let's get right into the video.
I've long assumed that we would go lower from here. I mean, it's a little early to call that now, just off the back of this figure. I mean, the market isn't taking it too well, but it's not taking it too badly either by the look of it. So let's see how it plays out over the coming few days. I mean, it does seem to make a bit more sense, really. I mean, I think markets have been fairly irrational the last few weeks, and I think this is a kind of timely reminder that inflation is still very much with us. It's not going to just magically disappear because the Fed has raised rates, and as Ben says, there are more rate rises coming. So yeah, it does. I'm certainly looking for it to go, a leg lower before I'll be looking to get in. So it works for me on that score. But I think in terms of rate rises, obviously, yeah, we could go. It certainly will go higher from here. And I guess really it's a case of how long the Fed decides to keep us there. I mean, I think figures like this just go to strengthen the theory that the Fed certainly won't drop rates this year. It won't pivot this year, which I think is something people still seem to be clinging on to. And this just confirms that that's not the case. So I guess there's a bit of certainty in there. I hope by this point we'll be coming out of a tough year. Rates will still be high. I would expect by this point, by a year from now, pretty much, I would expect the Fed to have either pivoted or be talking very strongly about pivoting. Like I say, I don't think we'll see a pivot this year, especially after figures like today's. So yeah, I would imagine that sentiment is starting to improve. Of course, markets are forward-looking, so any kind of positive signs out of that from the Fed would be enough, I think, to really kind of buoy up sentiment in that regard. And I think the narrative around the Bitcoin halving, I fully expect that to play out as expected. And I think we obviously, by this point, assuming that the rest of this year is going to be pretty brutal, or certainly parts of it at least are going to be pretty brutal, I imagine a lot of people will have been kind of shaken out. There will be a lot of apathy around in the crypto market, but there will always be a hardcore of crypto enthusiasts, of investors, of people with infinite reserves of patience, like the three of us, sitting around and waiting for that sentiment to improve, waiting for things to pick up. And there will be more of us than there were the last time there was a halving. So I expect sentiment to be improving, and I expect people like us and hopefully many others to be kind of waiting on the sidelines in that regard. Obviously, this kind of assumes that we haven't had any more black swans this year. I should say any black swans this year at all. It makes a few assumptions. Like, I mean, I hope the macro landscape has improved dramatically.
Guy believes that Bitcoin dominance will still be high, but some money from stablecoins could find its way into Bitcoin due to recent regulations on stablecoin issuers. He thinks that Ethereum will take some of that money, especially if their roadmap goes to plan.
But I mean, yeah, I am expecting to see an improvement after a year of fairly sort of sideways price action for Bitcoin and the rest. Will we see a lot of Bitcoin, a high level of Bitcoin dominance? I think so, but I think it will be tempered by the fact that there'll be a lot of money in ETH, possibly a lot of money in stablecoins. But again, I mean, after what we've seen in the last few weeks with regulations, and that's, I think, going to be a big narrative for the rest of this year, regulators coming after stablecoin issuers. So yeah, I think a lot of that, there's a good chance that a lot of that market cap, a lot of that money that's currently sitting in stables could well have found its way into Bitcoin by that point. But like I say, I think ETH will have taken some of that, especially if kind of Ethereum's roadmap goes to plan, if stakers are able to withdraw a little later on this year. Again, assuming kind of nothing particularly bad happens with Ethereum. So yeah, I would be anticipating a gradual lifting of sentiment, a mood of much more positivity than we currently have right now. I don't mean to say that Ethereum is going to necessarily crush all the competition in that, but I mean, Ethereum's growth is just so big, and the growth now of the layer 2 ecosystem, and this news from Coinbase just underlines it. That's something I think is going to be interesting, because which of these competing layer 1s are going to survive? I don't think all of them can. So I think that could radically reshape the way the market looks, or be in the process of reshaping the way the market looks come this time next year. I think that, so yeah, that will be something that I'm watching. I'm also, in terms of things like ordinals and Lightning, I get the feeling ordinals is a bit of a fad. I'm not sure. I just find it difficult to see the Bitcoin community kind of embracing NFTs in that sort of way. And I think Lightning has a lot more utility. Lightning, I think, is something that's needed much more. Growth on that has been pretty slow, but again, I think that is something that could take off. So yeah, that, I think Lightning is definitely worth keeping an eye on. There are, some strident anti-crypto voices out there, and the battle on Capitol Hill, the battle for politicians who believe in crypto is ongoing. And I think I might have mentioned this last time. I think the whole business with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried in particular has left a really bad taste in the mouth of politicians in Washington. Right. And I think that's going to take a long time. And of course, his trial begins October this year, if I remember rightly. So I think by March of next year, I mean, assuming it isn't kind of all wrapped up fairly quickly, by March of next year, a lot will have come out. There may still be stuff playing out in that trial. Who knows?
Guy speculates on which competing cryptocurrency will survive and how it could reshape the market in the future. He expresses doubt about ordinals becoming a long-term trend in the Bitcoin community and how this will affect the ongoing battle for politicians who believe in cryptocurrency. He thinks that the FTX collapse and Sam Bankman-Fried may have left a negative impression on politicians in Washington. Guy does predict a cryptocurrency market downturn in 2023 as a direct result of the inflation numbers we're seeing now. What do you think about Guy from Coin Bureau's market prediction for Bitcoin, crypto, and where the economy is headed in the next few months? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.